The dramatic story of the Israelites marching around Jericho and the walls falling. They had done it. They had crossed the Jordan River on dry ground, just as their fathers had crossed the Red Sea. A new generation had stepped onto the hallowed ground of the Promised Land, but the first city they saw was a major problem. It was Jericho, a massive city surrounded by walls so thick and high that they seemed impossible to conquer. The gates were locked and guarded. The people of Jericho were hiding inside, terrified. They had heard all about the God of Israel and his incredible power. It was time for Joshua, the new leader of Israel, to face his first major test. Welcome back to Gospel Glimpse. Last time, we saw the incredible transition of leadership from Moses to Joshua and the miraculous parting of the Jordan River. Now, with a new leader and a new generation of believers, the Israelites are about to face a battle that will change everything. It's a story that defies military strategy, human logic, and common sense. It's a story that proves that when you put your trust in God, no obstacle is too big to overcome. Get ready for the most astonishing battle in all of history, the fall of Jericho. Joshua was standing near Jericho, looking at the city walls, when suddenly a man appeared before him. He was holding a drawn sword and was standing there, ready for battle. Joshua, brave as ever, walked right up to him and asked, "Are you for us or for our enemies?" The man replied, "Neither. But as commander of the army of the Lord I have now come." Joshua knew in an instant who he was talking to. He fell on his face in reverence and asked, "What does my Lord have to say to his servant?" The commander gave him a simple but profound order: take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. This was God's way of telling Joshua that this wasn't going to be a normal battle. This was a battle for God to fight, not for the Israelites. God then gave Joshua the most bizarre military plan ever conceived. He told him that he would give them the city of Jericho. He told him to gather his entire army, all the fighting men, and to have 7 priests carry 7 trumpets made from ram's horns. He was to have the Ark of the Covenant, that sacred golden chest that symbolized God's presence, follow the priests. And then came the instructions for the battle: march around the city once with all the armed men. Do this for 6 days. On the 7th day, you are to march around the city 7 times, with the priests blowing the trumpets. When you hear a long blast on the trumpets, have all the people give a loud shout. Then the wall of the city will collapse, and the army will go up. Everyone straighten. Imagine being one of the soldiers. You've been trained for battle your entire life. You've learned about siege warfare and military tactics. You're ready to fight, and your leader, Joshua, tells you that your battle plan is to walk around the city in complete silence. No shouting, no weapons drawn, just walking, and walking, and walking, for 6 days. That's exactly what they did. Every morning, the army of Israel, with the priests and the Ark of the Covenant, would march silently around Jericho once. The people inside the walls must have been so confused. At first, they were probably terrified. A huge army was marching on their city. But after a few days, their fear probably turned into mockery. Look at them. They're just walking around. They probably laughed and jeered from the top of their walls, thinking the Israelites were crazy. The Israelites, however, kept their faith. They trusted in the crazy plan. They didn't see the mockery of the people inside. They only saw the promise of God. Day after day, they walked, their obedience a powerful weapon in itself. And then came the 7th day. This day was different. The silence was broken by a different kind of marching. The Israelites got up at dawn, and they began to march around the city, not once, but 7 times. On each lap, the priests blew their trumpets. The trumpets must have sounded like a countdown, a low, persistent hum of divine power, a sound that was both exciting and terrifying. The people of Jericho, who had grown confident and comfortable, must have felt a growing unease. Something was different today. The air was charged with a supernatural tension. The Israelites completed their 7th lap. The priests blew a long, final blast on their trumpets, a sound that echoed through the entire valley, and then Joshua gave the command, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city." And the people did what they were told. They shouted with all their might, a single, unified shout of faith, of trust, and of a belief that their God was bigger than any wall. And then it happened. In a moment that defies all logic and all physics, the walls of Jericho, the walls that had seemed so invincible, didn't just crumble, they collapsed, falling down flattened on themselves. The city was left completely exposed, an easy target for the Israelites to enter and conquer, just as God had promised. The Battle of Jericho is a timeless story of faith. It shows us that God's way is not our way. It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is to simply be obedient and trust in His plan, no matter how illogical it seems. It shows us that when we put our faith into action, mountains will move, seas will part, and walls will fall down. What do you think is the most important lesson from the Battle of Jericho? The power of obedience, the importance of faith, or the sheer miraculousness of the walls falling? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Our journey through the Bible is far from over. Next time, we'll continue our adventure through the book of Joshua and see what happens to the Israelites after their incredible victory at Jericho. Don't miss the next thrilling chapter of the book of Joshua. Make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs a reminder that God can conquer any obstacle, and subscribe to Gospel Glimpse for more captivating Bible narratives. Follow us on our social media. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing Bible stories. We'll see you in our next video.